Hey, welcome back to Mobility WOD. We have taken on text neck, body positioning like it's our job, because frankly it's our job. And we try to scare you sometimes. We put up that infographic that literally if your head is in front of your center of mass, by every inch in front of your center of mass, it's an additional 10 pounds until your head, I think, falls off. I think that technically that's what we say happens. Snap. You know, when we were recently in Seoul, turns out that the research there is that people are spending upwards of 5 to 6 hours a day on their smartphone, which is an amazing amount of time. And as phones have gotten bigger and sort of replaced laptops, even though the laptop was bad, what we're finding is that the phone actually creates an environment where we're seeing lots and lots of dysfunction. The researchers in the United States, people are on their phones 2.5 hours a day, and that's not including the rest of the screen time. And subsequently, we're starting to see patterning that reflects from the habitus of the position that we're in all the time, right? Remember we've talked about that we see that people actually develop a camel hump on the back of their neck here. What's happening is that as my head is forward, my body's literally depositing fat in the back of the neck here at C7 or C1, kind of bottom of C7 and top of the thoracic spine. And it's literally trying to tent my head back. So if you've got a lump here of fat, that's a pretty good indicator, like your foot as a weird callus, that you're in this wretched position. Now, as we've talked about before, we are pretty clear what we think is a good shape here between organizing the head. The center of the ear should just sort of be rest against the center of my shoulder, and it should drop straight down. That's our best, most organized, kind of most robust position. The problem is, boy, I'm a modern athlete, I'm a modern person, I'm going to be caught in some sort of compromising shapes. So what I want to do is say, how can I reclaim that good shape or sort of mitigate or minimize or attenuate some of the effects of some of those bad shapes? One of the things that we know unequivocally is we're never going to fix forward head on neck and all the neck pain, head pain, or jaw pain that comes along with that unless we address the thoracic positioning. Okay, check. So that's why we hammer the thoracic spine. Head comes back online. We know that there's a component to the shoulder and that all the good physicians, chiros, physios, we always look at shoulder-neck relationships. And so, for example, when we see someone have a shoulder injury, a lot of times that in a few years, maybe 10 years later, we start to see real degenerative changes on the same side of the neck because these things are integrated positions and integrated systems. So what that means to you is that if I'm aware that the shoulder impacts neck positioning, and we know that sort of the chassis of the nervous system is how my shoulders work best, then I want to try to optimize both. So in all motions of flexion, we're always talking about that there's an external rotation load that happens at the shoulder, right? So this is why I'm trying to break the bench press bar when I'm benching. I'm working on those concepts. Armpit is forward. You've seen these ideas around, and if you've ever sat in lotus position with palms up, we know what's really happening is that the shoulder is getting screwed into an externally rotated position, and then that makes it easier for me to organize my head and neck. So it's crucial to understand that if I'm going to try to maintain and mitigate sort of the noxious cell phone forces on my neck, I first have to try to reclaim that shape, and then I need to get my shoulders organized into this palm up sort of Eastern approach. And what this allows me to do then is create a really stable neck-shoulder system that can sort of withstand some of these positions. The principles are pretty simple and straightforward, that if I'm organized into this sort of neutral shape where head is stacked neatly over the body, or the best that I can, and I organize my shoulders, that means then all I have to do is maintain that position and slide my phone into the front of my face. And now look, wherever I'm working, the head is in neutral and my shoulders maintain this organized shape. The problem is when I start to decay shoulder forward, I'm immediately starting to round my upper back, and then head comes down. So the good texting position that we're advocating, or even when our kids are on the tech, is that we're trying to get the elbows in, palms up, and then just drag that thing and work into this position. Now the problem we continue to see is that the phone is slippery. And that means I sort of have to grip my phone in an unnatural way. So what we want to do today was talk about and reiterate sort of the fundamentals of the good mechanics around getting your shoulders organized, getting your head organized. But here's something that we have discovered in the greatest ecosystem. And I want to basically do a PSA about this thing. This thing is called a pop socket. Pop socket, just like you remember as a kid. And what happens is it just sticks to the back of your phone like a wacky wall walker. Basically, it sticks on, sticks off. But what's so cool about this is that you can hook your finger in, and now the phone doesn't slip out. So this seems totally dorky, I know. But I'm not kidding when I say that this thing has changed our family's life, because now when Juliet and I are on the phone, I don't actually have to work to hold the phone up. In fact, recently on Facebook's social media, they were saying that people were getting this deformed finger. Do you remember that? Where like if your finger is resting on the bottom of the phone, holding the phone up, you're going to get this weird finger deformity. And it's true. If you actually, you're going to be like, my finger's deformed. And that's really you trying to do this, hold up the bottom of the phone. What happens with the pop socket, though, is it allows you to slip a finger in, and now I can hold the phone in this upright position, and it serves as a mnemonic, that, hey, I need to hold my position more upright, and it makes it easier to maintain that, because if I don't have it, sometimes I hold the phone and it starts to slip down, and this is the easiest position because gravity is keeping the phone in my hand. So what's nice about the pop socket, again, one, is that it allows me to do this and maintain the shape sort of effortlessly. Two, and this is because I'm kind of a coach nerd and I'm always filming or timing, is that the thing acts as a virtual stand. Boo! That's so amazing. And so, anyway, I just wanted to let you guys know, every once in a while we geek out because we find something that we think can actually improve your life. And when you have this on the back of your phone, it compresses down, doesn't eat up a lot of space. But this has literally changed how I even think about my phone, because it's even easier to hold this shape. And then also when I'm totally bored, I'm like in, out, pop it, pocket. So anyway, you get the idea. The pop socket, this is one of those tools I think can really improve your forward head on neck, and more importantly, sort of take some of the strain out of your neck and shoulders. And if we're really kind of, get down to the nitty gritty and we're sifting through all this, this is about performance. If I can hold my phone into a better position, it makes it easier for me to be arm overhead and do all the things that I sort of value most. Anyway, Mobility WOD, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Ooh.